back? Satyendra, could you move back? Shama Kunda, Radha Kunda, Giri Can we just skip the other instruments? I'll just play myself. Kalindi Jamuna Jaya Jaya Mahava 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 Kishigata Vamsi Vatsa Tadasakana Shigata Vamsi Vatsa Tadasakana Kishigata Vamsi Vatsa Tadasakana Jahasabalila Koilo Shinandananda Jahasabalila Gata Jaya Rohini Nandan Jaya Rama Gata Jaya Rohini Nandan Jaya Jaya Vrinda Vasi Jata Aja Jaya Jaya Vrinda Vana Vasi Jata Aja Jaya Jicha Patni Jaya Daga Kanyaga Jaya Daga Kanyaga Bhakti Tejahara Pailo Govinda Chara Shirasa Mandala Jaya Jaya Radha Shyam Shirasa Mandala Jaya Jaya Radha Shyam Jaya Jaya Rasa Lila Sava Madhura Jaya Jaya Jvala Rasa Savarasa Sa Jaya Jvala Rasa Savarasa Sa Bharakiya Bhave Jaha Bhajete Kacha Shrijanava Pada Padma Koriya Smara Shrijanava Pada Padma Koriya Smara Dina Krishna Dasa Kahe Nama Sankirtan Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Shri Govinda Gopi Nata Madan Shri Govinda Gopi Nata Madana Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama
Vishnu Bidaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shimati Bhakti Vinod Namaste Saraswati Janini Vishesha This is a song about Vrindavan, describing all the various relevant places of Krishna's pastimes, as well as Krishna's associates, about whom we spoke a little bit about last night in general. And of course, in this song it also includes the glories of, or offering all glories to, Govardhana Hill. Shyamakunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhan. So, I was going to, as I said last night, I was going to read. There's a whole Govardhan Leela. We barely even touched it last night. And we tried to, in the beginning, to speak a little bit about the mood of the residents of Braj, the eternal associates of the Lord, whose love is steeped with pure devotion. And in describing these different pastimes of Krishna, Kavi Khanapur in Ananda Vrindavan Champu has given a very nice description of this Govardhan Leela. Of course, the Leela includes a lot of elements. As we started last night, we started by explaining about why Govardhan Hill is considered to be so important by Krishna. But also, not only is Govardhan Hill considered to be so important by Krishna, but Govardhan Hill is also considered to be so important by Krishna's devotees, especially the gopis. In fact, there's one verse which is oftentimes quoted in the Srimad Bhagavatam, spoken by the gopis. Hantayam Adira Abala Haridasavayo Yadrama Krishna Charana Sparasha Pramodha Manam Tanoti Sahago Ganayos Tayoryat Paniya Siyavasa Kandara Kandamulai. Translation of this verse is, of all the devotees, this Govardhan Hill is the best. Now, here, something that's a little bit different concept than we may oftentimes think. Just like when I first arrived, Malatipriya said if I would give Giriraj a name, it's Krishna. Because Giriraj, or the stones that are taken from Govardhan Hill, are generally worshipped as Krishna, non-different from Krishna. In fact, Lord Chaitanya, he gave Raghunath Das Goswami one stone, some Shila, that was given to him. I think it was from Shakarananda Saraswati, was given him a stone. And Lord Chaitanya, when he gave that Shila, that stone from Govardhan Hill, to Raghunath Das, he told him to worship it as Krishna. And Raghunath Das Goswami used to take that Shila and he would put it to his heart, and he would hold it to his heart, and he would bathe it. Sometimes we may think that when the devotees, the pujaris, they take the Shila, they put it in the tray, and they take the water, rose water, and bathe the Shalagam Shila with proper rose water and proper mantras. Raghunath Das Goswami would bathe the Shila with his tears. So, because when he would take this stone, which for him it was not an ordinary stone, he understood for him it was non-different from Krishna. Not only that, but, oops, I forgot to turn this off, forgive me. Sound gone. As we were speaking about yesterday, maybe we were speaking about it, maybe we weren't speaking about it, I can't remember. I can't even remember what I was talking about yesterday. But when the residents of Vrindavan took Krishna's instructions to heart, and when Nanda Maharaj and his associates decided to give up the Indra Yagya at the request of Krishna, little talkative Krishna, his main reason, as we explained yesterday, for diverting the worship of the Indra Yagya was to make Indra angry. And therefore, and there was a purpose for that also, he wanted to teach Indra a good lesson, because he had become a little bit puffed up and proud of his position as the king of the heavenly planets. And in many respects, as we also said yesterday, Krishna wanted to teach the residents of Vrindavan exclusive devotional service to himself as the highest method of worship. Of course, as we said yesterday, the residents of Vrindavan don't think of Krishna as the supreme. They think of him as elderly gopis. They have maternal affection towards him. Krishna's friends have fraternal affections towards him, and the gopis have conjugal affections towards him. And their love for Krishna is simply in terms of, they see him in terms of their relationship of friendship or parental affection or love. And they don't see him as the Supreme Lord. But nonetheless, in this particular pastime, because of their love for Krishna, according to their particular relationship they have, Krishna took that love and he tried to put that focus not on himself, but he wanted to put it on Govardhana Hill. Why? Because Govardhana Hill is not different from him. And in this way, he was teaching exclusive devotion to himself. And not only when all the residents performed the Anakut ceremony, and they took all the grains and they made big mountains of grains and ghee and sweets and vegetable preparations. And when they made their offering to Govardhana Hill, one of the questions that Krishna had asked Nanda Maharaj, one of the questions he asked him to try to convince him not to do the Indra Yagya is, has Indra ever come and accepted all of this food that you've offered? And Nanda Maharaj had to confess that, no, he's never come. So on this particular occasion, when all the offerings were being made, then not only did, of course, Indra didn't come because it wasn't being offered to him, but all of a sudden, a voice and a wonderful manifestation on the top of Govardhana Hill of Krishna manifested himself on Govardhana Hill, and he began speaking to Nanda Maharaj and everyone else, and how happy he was to accept their offering. And not only was he happy to accept their offering, he was saying that, I want more. So Krishna was telling Nanda Maharaj, well, just see. You've been offering all these in the previous offerings you've been making to Indra, but he's never come. But this time, just see who's come to accept his offering. And not only has he accepted everything, and he's eaten everything, he took everything, because he put out his arms, and with his arms he began taking all the mountains of rice, the mountains of sweets, and everything else. Of course, after he had eaten everything, it all came back again. As we experience also when offerings are made with love and devotion, Krishna accepts, but it's still available to be. So the point is that Krishna became the hill. The hill was not different from him. And then Krishna said to everybody, why don't we worship Govardhana hill? And then he told everybody, let's offer worship, let's go out, get down, offer our obeisances. Of course, Krishna was offering his obeisances to himself. But he was teaching. So, and then, so when we worship Giriraj, generally, as we've given in these different examples of the Shila that was given to, Lord Chaitanya had given to Raghunath Das Goswami, and then also in the worship of Govardhana, in the Govardhana Lila, we think of Govardhana Hill as non-different from Krishna. But here in this verse, we have a different concept. And what is the concept in this verse? What are the gopis thinking? Their gopis are thinking, of all the devotees, this Govardhana Hill is the best. Oh, my friends, this hill supplies Krishna and Balaram, along with their calves, cows and cowherd friends, with all kinds of necessities. Water for drinking, very soft grass, caves, fruits, flowers, and vegetables. In this way, this hill offers respects to the Lord. Excuse me. I'm trying to get something that's blocking it. Oh, there it is. Okay. In this way, the hill offers respects to the Lord. Being touched by the lotus feet of Krishna and Balaram, Govardhana Hill appears very jubilant. So after all that we've said, that Govardhana is worshipped and is considered to be non-different from Krishna. In fact, another example is that when Lord Chaitanya came, he wouldn't even step on Govardhana Hill because he considered to be non-different from Krishna. But here in this verse, we hear the gopis describing Govardhana as Haridasarvaya. Haridasarvaya means the best of the devotees. He says, they say of all the devotees, this Govardhana Hill is the best. How to understand that? Because the gopis, they see that Giriraj, in fact, they were even told and encouraged, because the gopis are always hankering to be in Krishna's association, and because of the restrictions that are imposed upon them by their elders, they cannot go and directly be with Krishna. Not only that, but they're very anxious to hold Krishna's lotus feet to their chests. They can't do that. They're very anxious to see Krishna. They're very anxious in so many ways to be with Krishna. And they're looking at Govardhana Hill and they're thinking, Giriraj, Govardhana, he is getting the opportunity to get Krishna's lotus feet upon him every day. He's going out with his cows, with the calves, the pasturing ground. He's getting the opportunity to render service to Krishna. He's getting the opportunity to render service to Krishna's devotees. How is he rendering service? He's providing nice caves, and it's described in the Srimad Bhagavatam how the cowherd boys, sometimes when they will go out to the pasturing grounds, they would enter into the caves to get out of the heat of the hot sun. Or when it was raining, they would enter into the caves to get out of the rain. So the caves were providing a very wonderful place for Krishna and his cowherd friends. Not only that, but Govardhana is providing wonderful streams and fruits, different pilo fruits and soft stones, where Krishna and his friends, they sit down and they would sit on the stones and they would have their lunches. And the stones were the places where they would sit, oftentimes sit with their friends. And Krishna was there every day, sitting on Giriraj. So the gopis are thinking that Krishna is a servant of Krishna. And therefore this is their mood of Govardhan Hill as being the best of the devotees because of the way they render service. The way that Govardhan, renders service to Krishna and all of his devotees. So, point is, Govardhan Hill is a very, very relevant and important part of Krishna Lila, because so much of Krishna's pastimes takes place on Govardhan. And not only that, but as well in the Lila that we remember for Govardhan Puja, that is that Krishna, when he wanted to protect the residents of Vrindavan from the Samvartak, the clouds, the inundating rains that were called upon by Indra, when he was angry, he lifted Govardhan Hill. So I wanted to read, as I said, from Kavi Kanapur. We're not going to be able to read all of it, but some of this pastime as he has described it, which is yes, it's quite long. We won't be able to read it all tonight, but we'll start it. And rather than speaking, as I said, I'm going to take advantage and read. And we'll comment as well. Looking like the full moon surrounded by a galaxy of stars, Krishna, the playful son of Rajaraj Nanda, enjoyed blissful pastimes with his intimate associates. These joyous pastimes perfectly befit the enchanting atmosphere of Vrindavan. In the daytime, Krishna tended the cows and sported with his boyfriends. Mother Earth felt honored by the touch of Krishna's lotus feet. The cowherd boys felt inconceivable bliss within their minds as they frolicked with Krishna. During their fun-filled days, Krishna often killed some envious demon who acted like poison to saintly persons. One day, Nanda Maharaj, the abode of kindness, simplicity, and joy, and other senior men of Vrindavan, made preparations to worship the demigod Indra. They collected many articles and made elaborate arrangements for a joyous festival. Noticing this, Krishna said to his father, "O honored one, what is the name of the ceremony you are organizing? Which demigod are you trying to please? Who is the guru instructing you in this yajna with his infallible words? What injunctions and system of worship are you following? Why are people running around mechanically in all directions? I do not understand the meaning of it. Of course, since I am only a boy, you may not consider me qualified to comprehend your explanation. But if you think I am eligible, then tell me all the details of this yajna from beginning to end. If, however, you think it is too confidential, then still you should tell, because one should not keep secrets from well-wishers. But such details should never be revealed to one's enemies." After speaking so maturely, Krishna sat next to Vrajaraj Nanda on a cloth asan. Nanda Baba lovingly picked up his son, who was like a spotless moon, moving on the earth, and placed him on his lap. Hearing the sweet questions of his son, Nanda affectionately smiled, revealing his attractive white teeth. The soft glow of his face resembled nectar drops of milk. The nectar appeared to be washing and nourishing Nanda's beard. This nectar appeared to be washing and nourishing Nanda's beard, which was mixed with white and black hair. Beaming in a jolly mood, Rajaraj Nanda tactfully described the nature of the sacrifice. Nanda Maharaj said, "My dear son, in our family line we have been observing this Indra Yagya for a very long time. We experience prosperity and freedom from disturbances due to its proper performance. Our only wealth is the cows that live on grass, which needs rain to grow. Rain comes from the clouds that are controlled by the demigod Indra. For all these reasons, therefore, I am making a grand festival to please Indra. Every year at this time, we carefully observe this sacrifice, being pleased with our yagya. Indra sends abundant rainfall. The other demigods gladly accept our oblations of ghee and show their gratitude by preserving what we have and providing what we need. The scriptures say that human beings who honor this tradition become glorious and attain the heavenly planets in their next lives. Any man can attain peace of mind by the blessings of the demigods. Those who neglect to worship the demigods, however, cannot get any relief from their problems." Seems contradictory. Here are all the residents of Vrindavan, eternal associates of the Lord. It seems they're attached to worshiping demigods. What is this? How to understand this? Of course, for them, as we oftentimes explain, that the eternal associates of the Lord, they're the most exalted living beings in creation. They're the most exalted living beings because, as we described yesterday, their love is pure, completely untainted by any fruitive desires. This is pastime. This is a pastime which was all aimed to increase the residents of Vrindavan's affection for Krishna, to increase the residents of Vrindavan's affection for Govardhana Hill, to teach, which Krishna wanted to teach. By coming to this world, he wanted to teach exclusive devotional service to himself. So Nanda Maharaj is explaining that he and the cowherd men, they are worshipping Indra because it's a custom that they've been doing for quite some time. It is not in any way, or should we even in any moment think, that the associates of the Lord are addicted to fruitive activities. Even the grains that they grow, and the cows that they milk, and the land that they live on, it's only meant for one purpose only. And we should understand that. It's only meant for Krishna's pleasure. Everything they do is for Krishna's pleasure. Vrindavan is for Krishna's pleasure. The devotees are for Krishna's pleasure. Govardhana Hill is for Krishna's pleasure. Mother Jasoda and Nanda Maharaj's paternal affection is for Krishna's pleasure. He's so pleased by the spontaneous love of the residents of Vrindavan that he appears as their son, as his cowherd boys' friends, and as lovers, to reciprocate their unalloyed love. And their unalloyed love is exclusive devotion to Krishna. Everything they do is for Krishna. So there's no question of the demigods worship being done by the residents of Vrindavan as an attempt to satisfy their own fruitive gains, because everything in their life is for Krishna and their thoughts are always absorbed completely in Him. So this pastime, of course, as we said yesterday, also amongst many pastimes, is all meant for establishing exclusive devotion and thoughts of Krishna in the minds of his devotees, and for repeating for ourselves to establish within our hearts the mood of the residents of Vrindavan. If we actually want to someday come to the platform of unalloyed love for Krishna and to serve Krishna as they do, obviously it doesn't mean that we become Nanda Maharaj. It doesn't mean that we become Mother Jasoda. It doesn't mean that we become Sridham or Subal or Sudam. But actually it means that these eternal associates of the Lord, they worship Krishna according to their particular mood. And for the devotees who want to enter into that realm of Goloka Vrindavan and become an associate of the Lord, they actually become attracted to the particular mood and service of one of his devotees. That is how we can aspire for the goal of Goloka Vrindavan. It's not simply that although it's nice to think that if we render service to Krishna and in this world and we perform service and in this life, that we go at the end of this life we go back to Goloka Vrindavan. But actually Krishna says, always think of me. He says, always worship me. Always remember me. Part of our service and the goal of everything else that we do in this world, whether it's cooking for Krishna, whether it's for cleaning for Krishna, whether it's building a temple for Krishna, whether it's distributing Krishna's books, whether it's any service, whatever we do is supposed to be done with our body, our mind, and our words. It's supposed to be done as an offering and a meditation for pleasing to Krishna, and because it's supposed to ultimately bring us to that platform of always thinking of Krishna, as the residents of Vrindavan do. So part of our devotional service to always think of Krishna is to meditate on those who serve Krishna and please Him the most. Wouldn't it be nice to meditate and to actually please Krishna the most? Everybody wants to please Krishna. That's our goal. It's our perfection. Samside haritoshanam. Atak pumbya dvija shreshta vanasham vibhagasas vanushtatasya dharmasya sangsidi haritoshanam. That the perfection of all of our duties is to see that Krishna is pleased by our activities. But what pleases Krishna the most? What pleases Krishna the most is when devotees love Him in spontaneous love. Because He becomes so pleased by that spontaneous love and affection that the devotees have for Him, that He becomes so controlled that He subordinates Himself to their mood of loving service. Yes, Krishna is meant to be offered everything and given everything. He's the Supreme Lord. Everything is meant for His pleasure. But Prabhupada, even in one lecture, lecture was given in 1966. 1966 and 26 Second Avenue, or maybe it was 67. Can't remember. Very, very early. And he says, everybody is thinking of Krishna as our order supplier. He says, this is how we think. He said, and then he started talking about Mother Jasoda. He says, but no, actually, we should be Krishna's order supplier. We should make Krishna dependent on us to be His order supplier. So, and therefore, Krishna takes a mood of being dependent on us, just as He takes a mood of being dependent on Mother Jasoda. to cook for him, to provide milk for him, to satisfy him. He said this, and Prabhupada was explaining in this lecture in 1966. This is the proper mood of how to please Krishna. Because Krishna is most pleased by those who worship him in spontaneous love. And becomes so pleased by that spontaneous love that he becomes completely subordinate to that loving mood of service. And as we said yesterday, he actually thinks himself as a son. He actually thinks himself as a friend. That is how they consider their relationship with Krishna. Krishna is my friend. He's not God, he's my friend. Krishna is my son. Not God, he's my son. And Krishna thinks, I'm his son. I'm her son. So Krishna is speaking to Nanda Maharaj in this way as his son. But Nanda Maharaj has so much affection for Krishna, and he's always thinking of Krishna, that he's completely controlled by the words of his son, and his son places before Nanda Maharaj very convincing arguments, which in due course of time, Nanda Maharaj completely relents to and accepts. So he's saying every year at this time we observe the sacrifice. And then after hearing these bitter words, bitter words, they were bitter for Krishna. They were bitter because he was thinking that everybody's supposed to be dependent on me. Of course, as we said, Nanda Maharaj is always dependent on Krishna. But he wanted to teach this exclusive devotional service to everyone. So after hearing these bitter words, Krishna smiled mildly to hide his feelings, and then refuted Nanda's presentation. Krishna's eloquent delivery amazed and pleased the Vrajavasis. Indeed, Krishna mesmerized the entire audience with his words. Krishna said, "In this regard, your actions are not justified. The force of karma causes the birth, maintenance, and destruction of all living entities. It is not the demigods, but it is a person's work that determines his destiny." I'm going to skip a little bit because Krishna is going to give a lot of arguments, as we said, about karma mimamsa. He's going to try to convince Nanda Maharaj to forget about this Indra, forget about worship of Indra. It's not necessary. He can't do anything anyways. Whether you worship him or you don't worship him, doesn't make any difference. He can't do anything anyways. That's going to be Krishna's argument, which is essentially karma mimamsa philosophy. And then he says, do the seas and mountains worship Indra? Of course not. But still they're full of water. Why does Indra give them so much water? Impelled by the material mode of passion, the clouds pour rain everywhere, and this rain sustains all creatures. Therefore nothing will happen if you do not worship Indra. Then he goes on with more arguments. He says, neither in the past nor the present has there been any certainty about having a successful grain harvest in our village. Therefore this yajna means nothing to us. It is our nature to dwell in the forest and wander in the woods and on the hills. Since we never stay in one place, why should we perform the Indra yajna, which is not based on scriptural injunctions? O Father, you are peaceful and respected by everyone. You should have faith in my words, for they will remove all danger. Now just expertly worship Govardhana hill with all the ingredients collected for the Indra yajna. This great mountain is not only named Govardhana, but it has the ability to increase, Vardhana, the health and satisfaction of our cows. Go. Collect pots full of milk and make first-class milk sweets, like sweet rice. Cook many tasty foods, fancy cakes. Bring leaf bowls full of ghee, honey, and nectar drinks. Prepare an ocean of yogurt, buttermilk, and fresh butter. Build a mountain of rock candy and cover all directions with an abundance of Shrikhand Rasala. Send messengers to invite the Brahmins. Feed them sumptuously until until they laugh, and their faces beam with the brilliant garlands of their blissful smiles. At that moment, the Brahmins will consider that the heavenly storehouses of nectar are totally insignificant. Call the priests to conduct the fire sacrifice and distribute cows and charity to the Brahmins. Those among you who are simple-hearted should just try to feed the Brahmins. You should please everyone by making an anakuta, or hill of food, with thick dal, varieties of aromatic vegetables, and very palatable sweet cakes, surrounded by pools of unlimited sweet rice. Then worship Giri Govardhana with the proper articles such as Puja. After feeding the Brahmins, you should give food to everyone else, including such fallen souls as dogs and dog-eaters. Saturate the directions with the sweet music of berries, conches, tumultuous kettle drums, and various other instruments. The witty, well-versed Brahmins will start the yajna with perfectly pronounced Mangalacharana mantras. The entire horizon will be surcharged with all these auspicious sounds. And then he says to circumambulate Govardhana Hill. You who have the audacity to challenge even Lord Indra, who lives for millennium, should happily circumambulate Govardhana Hill along with your cows, bulls, and calves. Do not think, how can we have faith that Giriraj will gratify our desires? Soon Giriraj will fulfill all your desires and become famous as the second Mahendra. He will reward you handsomely and make all your endeavors fruitful. What more can I say, O Father? If you want to, you can follow my advice and achieve an auspicious result. Then, after hearing Krishna's speech, Nanda Maharaj and the leading men accepted his proposal. They agreed. This must be done to satisfy their desires. Of course, this made Indra angry. Vrajavasis, they said, Krishna directed the Vrajavasis to worship Giriraj with all the paraphernalia collected for Indra's worship. This, of course, made Indra extremely angry. Nothing else could be heard in Vrindavan except the auspicious vibration of instrumental music. And then Nanda Maharaj brought the necessary articles from his house to worship Govardhana Hill, initiated the puja, respectfully offered Puja to worship Giriraj's feet. He made the Anakuta hill complete with peaks that delighted all in attendance. The peaks rising out of the middle of the hill looked like a crown made of white camphor. The multicolored cakes stuck on the sides of the Anakuta hill looked like stones and boulders. At the base of the hill there were clay pots full of milk, yogurt, and sweet rice. There's also colorful sabjis, lakes of dal, and very fragrant soups. Due to its covering of ghee, the Anakuta mountain looked like golden Mount Kailas, shimmering under a cover of rain. Then Nanda Maharaj saw the opulence of Anakuta, and he felt that this was a fitting honor to Sri Giriraj. Krishna smiled happily upon seeing the amazing Anakuta. Suddenly, the playful, fun-loving Krishna assumed a huge, unprecedented form and stood on top of Govardhana Hill. He did this to anger Indra and instill faith in the cowherd men. Observing this powerful form glowing like 1,000 suns, Krishna, who remained among the cowherd men in his original human-like form, cast a gentle glance upon everyone and said, "Look, look! By using all the paraphernalia to exclusively worship Govardhana Hill with pure love, you have received his favor. Govardhana, the best of all mountains, has now manifested before you as a brilliantly effulgent person. Look closely. The huge mouth of this expanded form of Giriraj resembles a deep cave. Though his mouth is massive, his face looks as beautiful as the full moon. Usually trees serve as his arms, but now he has two beautiful arms adorned with attractive jeweled armlets. Usually hard rocks cover his body, but now he assumed a tender, sweet form. Look how that beautiful body walks over the other non-moving form. Moreover, this non-moving form is sitting like a seat made of costly emeralds, but appears like a huge chest of the moving one. Glittering like a row of rubies, his teeth look like the crown of the non-moving form. The saffron hue of the minerals on the non-moving form gives an attractive hue to the lips of the moving one. In comparison, these two forms of Govardhana manifest the same elegance. Govardhana is reciprocating with your overflowing love and devotion. He's acting like a hungry person, extending his arms bedecked with jeweled bangles. Look, just see how this hill has appeared in person to fulfill your desires. Now offer respects to him. Then Krishna and the people of Vrindavan bow down to this personified form of Govardhana hill. In effect, Krishna actually offered obeisances to himself. When the cowherd men, the wives, and the leading men of Vrindavan saw that form shining like the sun, they raised their folded hands above their heads and said, Namo, Namo, Namo. Being overwhelmed in affection, they danced around ecstatically. By joyfully worshipping Govardhana hill, the Vrajavasis realized that Govardhana is a person. Then there's a very detailed description of the parikram they did around Govardhana hill. They went all circumambulated Govardhana hill, singing. In fact, I was just thinking, there's a very nice song. What is it? Giri?
Giri Govardhana.
No. No.
Govardhana.
No. No. We chant it in New Vrajadam. I don't have it. I can't remember the name of the song.
For the permanent residents in Govardhana.
Yes. No, that's Govardhanastakam. No, that's Govardhanastakam. This is different. Can you go in the car? And there's a magazine in the car. Can you go get that magazine? You have the key, right? There's a magazine on the back seat. I'll get back to it. It's really nice. Really nice song. We can just read it. But they are circumambulating Govardhana hill, and they're all singing. In fact, today in Govardhana, I usually stay many times, and I stay especially for the last 5 days of Kartik. Then but today also Govardhana. No, is it today? Yeah, it's today. So many people circumambulating Govardhana hill. And you hear them singing all night long. Like tens of thousands. Because I usually stay at the Govardhana ashram. And all night long you hear them going and singing, all the Vrajavasis, circumambulating Govardhana hill, singing all night long. They also come at the end of Kartik too. And this song is one of the songs they sing, the ones that
The one that the cowherd women sang as they would, who was organized Govardhana.
Yes.
He who killed Putin.
Yes, that's the one. You got it? This is the song that we sing. And we were doing it in New Rajadam, and you sing this, the devotees they just circumambulate, like it's so enthusiastically. Where is it? Yeah. Giri pujayam vihitam kena arachi sakrapaka param abhayam yena giri pujayam vihitam kena putaniki sarnihata yena giri pujayam. The women they chant the first part, and the men chant the second part, answering. And it means, who ordered the worship of Govardhana hill? Giri pujayam vihitam kena. And then the answer is, Arachi Shakrapadam Abhayam Yena. The same person who made us free from fear of Indra. Girdi Pujayam Vihitam Kena. Who ordered the worship of Govardhana hill? Then Putanika Sa Nihata Yena. The same person who killed the Putana witch. Giri Pujayam Vihitam Kena. Who ordered the worship of Govardhana hill? Trinavarta Tanu Dalanam Yena. The same person who crushed the Trinavarta whirlwind. And it goes on and on and on. And of the song that they sing when circumambulating Govardhana hill. So they circumambulated Govardhana hill. Then they distributed to the cows, to the Brahmins, and to everyone. Big sacrifice. And then is an interesting discussion that Madhumangal begins speaking about this experience. He's describing how happy he is at this particular event. He says, Damodar, who delights all moving and non-moving creatures, gladly accepted sincere requests. Soon they arrived on the banks of the Yamuna, which previously flowed near Govardhan. Being the glorious day of Bhatri Dvitiya Titi, which is very dear to both Yamuna and her brother Yamaraj, they decided to take an auspicious bath. Bhatri Dvitiya Titi is the day when sisters pray for the prosperity of their brothers. Sunanda, the intelligent, well-behaved daughter of Upananda, invited her cousin brother Damodar, Krishna, who is always jubilant and victorious, to celebrate the festival. Damodar, who delights all moving and non-moving creatures, gladly accepted the sincere request of Sunanda. His heart overflowed with loving feelings for that dear sister. She affectionately served many types of delicious drinks and tasty cakes to Krishna and his friends. Haladar and all the boys enjoyed the excellent food, while Batu is Madhumangal, Batu, the skillful jester, and entertained the enchanter of the world with his funny jokes and antics. Batu quipped, Alas, alas, O dear friend, killer of the Aga demon, why didn't the foolish creator make every titi as Bhatri Dvitiya Titi? O brother, whose chest shines with the mark of Shrivats, we count the year in terms of days, so how come you do not have many sisters like Sunanda, who, acting as the embodiments of kindness, will fill us up like this every day of the year? Yesterday's exciting Govardhan festival has passed, though heaps of food and drink were offered, and although I am a voracious eater, still I did not enjoy as much as I have today on Bhatri Dvitiya. Krishna, who steals everyone's heart with his charming character, enjoyed the simple joking words of Batu as he joyfully ate. What time is it? Okay. Then in mutual affection, Damodar and Sunanda exchanged so much valuable cloth, jewels, and golden ornaments that it astonished the people on earth. Meanwhile, the demigod Indra developed a headache due to being ignored and forgotten by the Vrajavasis. We will now describe how he tried to get relief and revenge by employing excessive rains. While sitting among the demigods, Indra felt sad and distressed, seeing that his sacrifice had been cancelled. Burning with rage, Indra said, "Just see how surprising it is. The intelligence of these cowherd men is just like the animals they tend. They stopped my puja just by hearing a few words from a mere child. Even though many goddesses of learning praise me, those offensive cowherd men did not think twice about giving up my worship. Have they been overtaken by false pride?" Then it goes on to describe Indra's anger and how he invited the Samvartaka clouds to appear and to punish the residents of Vrindavan for neglecting to worship him as they, performing their traditional worship as they do every year. In fact, not long ago I was reading in the 11th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. There's a very detailed description of universal devastation. And in that description of universal devastation, it describes how first, when the time of universal annihilation takes place, the Samvartaka clouds are called, appear. And the Samvartaka clouds, they fall incessantly, and it's described that the drops, each drop of the Samvartaka cloud is the size of an elephant trunk. And they incessantly fall, and it fills up the universe from these Samvartaka clouds. And the same Samvartaka clouds that appear at the time of universal devastation were the clouds that Indra called to punish the residents of Vrindavan. So you can imagine the impact it had. It's the same clouds, the same rain, torrential rains, the same raindrops that fills up the whole universe was being called to Vrindavan. And of course the description that is given here in Ananda Vrindavan Champu describes the kind of pain the cows were experiencing when the raindrops were hitting them. And when Krishna saw all that, then of course he felt compassion for his devotees, and he immediately lifted up Govardhana hill, to protect his devotees. And also in Ananda Vrindavan Champu, there's a very nice description. After he lifted up the hill, one may think that under the hill, what would you expect to find under a hill? It's just dirt. But it's described that actually under the Govardhana hill, when Krishna lifted Govardhana hill and held it, under Govardhana hill was streams, rivers, pastures, palaces, roads, everything all manifested there. And not only when Krishna lifted the hill, then some of the earth fell down and it created a wall, a barrier, so that all the inundating rains that were coming from Indra's Samvartaka clouds, they couldn't enter in. So when he invited all the cows, the calves, the cowherd men, the cowherd women, the cowherd girls, please don't fear, come under this hill, don't think it will fall from my hand, don't worry, I've got it all covered. They all came in, and when they came in, it was even more beautiful under Govardhana hill. and there's a very, very nice description here of an Ananda Vrindavan Champu of, in fact, where is it? Maybe I can find it. Yeah. Well, here Krishna says, when I lifted the hill, huge chunks of earth fell off the bottom and formed a natural boundary wall around the perimeter of Giriraj. This wall will keep out the torrential rains. Forget about your pleasure gardens and your attachments to your former residences. Let this place become the source of joyful pastimes for the cows, gopas and gopis. And then, immediately the elderly gopas felt completely pacified by Krishna's sweet words. Taking their wealth, sons, wives, cows, and priests who felt immeasurable happiness and beamed with matchless beauty, they entered the splendid valley beneath Giri Govardhan. Taking shelter there, they all filled with surprise and smiled with delight. They clearly saw that the valley beneath Govardhan, which dazzled attractively in the light, could easily accommodate all their innumerable cows, animals, and family members. The valley brimmed with gratifying sense objects to see, touch, taste, and so on. That divine place was the very ornament of the earth. Its purity and opulence exceeded the wealth of the subterranean heavenly planets like Sutala. Fields of rich green barley spread in all directions, and many lakes full of crystal clear water stood here and there. The cows stayed near the border of the improvised town and pastured on fields full of fresh green grass. The Vrajavasis stood around peacefully in different groups. Some cowherd men mixed with the Brahmins, and the elderly married ladies stayed with their daughters. There was other descriptions also of underneath the hill, but I can't find it at this moment. As I said, this is long. There's not enough time to read the whole pastime, and even I've been skipping over a lot too. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Yes.
Thank you, Maharaj, for the wonderful lecture. My question is, why is Lord so affectionate towards the hill, like Govardhana hill, and then we also see Lord Balaji, being merciful to the Anjanadri hill, Anjanadri hill, and then Lord Shiva on Mount Kailash, and then we also hear Mount Meru being used in the churning of ocean. So, if we see them as in person, are they great devotees, or have they performed some more sadhana? That's why Lord is being merciful?
No, we understand that Krishna's intimacy with Govardhana Hill is because of how it serves his most intimate pastimes, which are manifest in Vrindavan. The Govardhana is so intimately connected to Krishna's most intimate pastimes. Every day when Krishna leaves the village, cowherd village, and goes out, then he goes to the pasturing grounds, but during the day he leaves the pasturing grounds and he goes to Radhakund, which is on Govardhana Hill. Radhakund is Shyamakund, and then it is the most, Govardhana is serving Krishna for his most intimate pastimes with his most intimate devotees. That's why Govardhana is so pleasing to him, and why it's so pleasing to the devotees. It's why it's so pleasing to the gopis. Because his most intimate pastimes are there. Yes, Merle.
Comment and question. Well, one thing is that it's described, how to say, who is Govardhana, and he came from Krishna's heart. He's a manifestation of Krishna's love for Radharani. And he's a little different even than Meru or Kailash. Very special.
Yeah, Brahmavavarta Purana has a different story also, though.
and then there's a description of, so everyone was sheltered under Govardhana. So you think, well, but all that heavy rain's falling on Govardhana, what's about? And so at one point, Indra sends his spies to see what happened. And they come back and they say, not even a leaf on the trees on Govardhana was disturbed by the rain. Not even an ant was disturbed, even though it was just like an Abhishek for Govardhana. My question is, so Krishna wants to teach that one should, take only exclusive shelter of him. But the Brijbasis, they don't know that form on top of Giriraj is Krishna. So how is he teaching that they should just take shelter of him? Instead of worshipping one Devata, Indra, here's a grand Devata, Govardhana. So where is it taking shelter of him?
Because he is not different from...
But they don't know that, right? Because they don't know. They think, here's Krishna and there's the form on top of Govardhana.
No, but he's teaching everyone else.
Us.
That's the teaching he's doing. He's teaching everyone else.
He could have said, just worship Narayan instead of worshiping.
No, but he chose Giriraj. Because the intimate connection that Giriraj has with service. There's other stories. I won't go into the stories of Brahma Vivarta Purana. Some other question? Yes.
In the beginning, you said how Krishna says that we should think about him, and that we should think about particular, meditate on particular associates of Krishna. So, could you please
No.
explain more?
I purposely described it in a very general way. Any other questions?
And Krishna also likes if you serve the devotee, right? He says that's the best form of worship is if you serve my devotees. So if you worship Govardhana Hill, he's the best devotee of Krishna.
Yes, that's what. As I said, that was the gopis' mood. The gopis' mood were that we have heard. I think it was from Gargi. We have heard from Gargi that if you want the fulfillment of a desire, then the best way to get a desire fulfilled is to serve Krishna's devotee. So, because they had heard, gopis, they had heard that the best way, they were thinking that the best devotee is Govardhana. Because who serves Krishna better than Giriraj?
Radharani herself says that, right?
Yes, yes, it is Radharani herself who says that. So that is the mood of the gopis. So it is the devotees who see Krishna as the best of Krishna's devotees, who sees Giriraj as the best of Krishna's devotees. And therefore, those who are in the mood, similar mood, they see Giriraj as a devotee. Haridasarvaya. Those who are in that same mood.
One question. Like most of the time we are saying like Indra means all the demogod gods is being supported by Lord Vishnu. So in this case, like anyway, the Brajvasis are offering all the things to Indra. He is also a demigod. But what is the reason before that the Krishna wants that not to offer to the Indra and to the Govardhan, like because he is also a demigod. Most of the past time we had seen like Vishnu always supports the demigod. So in this case, why he didn't support the Brajvasi to bring to the...
Because Indra was puffed up and he had to teach him a lesson. And that's Indra's oftentimes, and that point is made very clearly in many places.
Yeah. So in this case, what was that puffed up? Can you just...
What was that puffed up?
Yeah.
Well, can't you see? What was his puff up? He was thinking, he forgot that he was subordinate to Krishna, and they were thinking, why are these Vrajvasis listening to this talkative child? He became so proud that he failed to recognize Krishna's position, and that's what happens due to pride. Sometimes when one, especially the king of the heavenly planets, becomes very powerful of his wealth, very powerful of his position. And Indra, it's not the first time that Indra has committed offense. He committed offense to Brihaspati, when his own spiritual master, when he came, he failed to get up because he was proud. He was surrounded by other people, and he was accepting that worship. His spiritual master appeared in that place, and Brihaspati, when he appeared, and because Indra didn't get up, Brihaspati left that place. And Indra realized, I committed offense. I was so proud. I forgot that I should have offered my obeisances in the presence of my spiritual master, and I didn't offer obeisances. And the result of that offense is when he went back to find Brihaspati and to look for him, he disappeared. And what happens? He lost all the heavenly kingdom. The demons took over. They fought. That's what happens to Indra sometimes. Becomes proud.
It happens more than it happens more than others to him.
There's also a description that Krishna was thinking, these Brajvasis, they're my dearmost associates. They're millions of times greater than Indra, and he has the nerve to accept something from them he should have refused it. He's become too proud.
Yes. Yes.
Maharaj, isn't Krishna also kind of discouraging demigod worship through this pastime? He tells Arjuna...
It's there. It's understood. Yes, it's understood. But also teaching Indra a lesson was a major component. A major component. Yes.
Maharaj, were demigods supposed to know that Krishna in this form was the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Because Brahma also didn't recognize Krishna and when he stole the cowherd boys.
Even Balaram didn't know. Balaram didn't know. Balaram didn't know until right towards the very end, when all the cowherd boys and calves were running down the hill, and Balaram was standing there thinking, like, this is, what is this? I mean, and it's explained that even Balaram for the whole time didn't know that Krishna had assumed the form of all the cowherd boys and calves. So sometimes, yes, they are covered. They cannot see, even though they're supposed to know. Yes.
It's remarkable when you think a little further on in the pastime how gently Krishna dealt with Indra, who tried to kill his most dear associates, because Indra, ultimately, he's a devotee, even though he became overwhelmed. And so Krishna, and here he tries to kill Krishna's dearest friends, and Krishna is so gentle. He even arranges that Indra can apologize in a secluded place so he's not embarrassed. So how merciful Krishna is to anyone who renders any service.
How merciful he is to his devotees. So we still have to do Dhammadarastakam, I'm assuming, right?
Yes, and circumambulation.
And circumambulate. What are we circumambulating?
Here, there's Annakut small.
Uh-huh.
Maharaj, can everybody say Namo Brahmanaye Devaya 3 times just to offer? Everybody can offer.
What you tell them what you would like them to do?
Okay. With your permission. So if everybody can chant Namo Brahmanaye Devaya, Go Brahmana Hitaya 3 times to offer the Chapan Bhog, 56 items. All the devotees kindly help me make this preparation. Namo Brahmanaye Devaya, Go Brahmana Hitaya Jagat Hitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Namo Brahmanaye Devaya, Go Brahmana Hitaya Jagat Hitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Namo Brahmanaye Devaya, Go Brahmana Hitaya Jagat Hitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha.
Okay. What's next?
Namo Mishra.
Dhammadarastakam.
And we're going to offer ghee lamp. You can, one by one can come there. Sundar Gopinath Prabhu will give the...
Does everybody know the words?
You want to put the...
I don't have it on my...
I think you have.
Everybody knows the words. means I should move. Is that what you're saying?
Or I can take the table over here.
I can move.
No problem, Maharaj.
Namami Swaram Sachit Anandarupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamana Alam Lakshalamai Stitinam Vatanu Vihane Shamamagyam Ejakshidrisya Uvedatmajavada Motyai Vayagvat Tvaya Mochita Bhakti Vajakritaucha Tata Prema Bhaktim Swakam Nepayacha Namokshe Gahomes Titamodareha Namaste Sudamne Sudadipti Damne Vadiyo Tadayata Vishwasya Damne Namo Radhikayai Tadiyapiyayai Namo Nantadilaya Devaya Tuyam Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare